You're in tune to the FuseBox Radio Broadcast.
Turn the music up inside my session. These folks gotta hear my message.
Bringing balanced black radio to the masses.
Record Breakers panel. We have several DJs here whose workplace spans from FM radio, online radio, in clubs, mixtapes. These DJs put music out everywhere you can think of. So we're going to talk to them a little bit about how they got their start, what they look for in records, because I know anybody in here who's an artist or a manager, I know that's on your mind. How do I get my record to you? How do I get you to play my record? We will talk about that, and then we're going to have a little Q&A at the end. Sound good? All right, great. So, Bird, are we ready, or do we have any...
Go ahead and start. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's coming away.
Okay.
Everybody.
What's up, Bird?
Hi, Bird. Okay, to my left here, your right, I have DJ Heat. You guys may recognize her from Twitter and WPGC. You know, the entire DC Metro, she's got like, 400,000 followers in DC. DJ Heat is a core DJ. She is also a DJ on WPGC. She does a lot of charity work. She's kind of all over and has earned a really great reputation among artists in the city for supporting and promoting the music. I also have with us today DJ Fusion from FuseBox Radio to my right, and I have DJ 6 Cents to my right as well. He is a DJ on Russ Parr Morning Show, and also these DJs have online platforms, mixtape platforms, and I'm gonna let them get into. I'm gonna start with a little icebreaker question for each of the DJs, and I'm gonna start with DJ Fusion. What was one of your defining moments as a DJ, like a highlight of your career that you could think of?
Of course, it's early, so I get the first question. One of the highlights of my career, I've been doing this professionally since 1998. The first time I DJ'd internationally in Toronto, Canada. And I did that through what's Canada's version of South by Southwest, North by Northeast. I actually got that particular opportunity through a recommendation from some folks over here in the States, and I did a little small showcase or two, and that was cool, but one ended up getting canceled. But because the promoter who was doing the events at the time really liked what I was doing, on the very last day of the festival, where they have a big outdoor concert, and it was essentially like the Times Square of Toronto, where they had a whole bunch of hip-hop acts, including at that time Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, Killer Mike, Action Bronson, and some other heads. It was literally about 2 hours before I was going to get on the bus back to DC. I get a call from this promoter talking about one of our DJs had a situation. Would you mind DJing in between all these acts and for Ghostface and Raekwon? What was I going to say? No, I'll get on the later bus, yo. There's no problem. I can call my job and do something else. And that day I ended up DJing in front of 25,000 people. And I was scared as hell because you do not want to see 25,000 ice grills looking at you. They aren't feeling what you're playing. And at that particular time, I didn't have my tractor set on me. I had a whole bunch of vinyl. And I just had enough vinyl for that entire night. Wow. And to see the crowd rocking and being happy and clapping and everything, and folks like, and shout out to DJ Fusion on the wheels. like that was crazy. And through that particular event and the feedback folks got, now besides DJing at North by Northeast regularly, this has been the third year that myself and my partner have done that. We are also now doing showcases for North by Northeast. So, just through literally me doing me, being able to get to that particular type of platform and work with other folks has been great. And during this past year, besides, the cats I just named, I was also able to DJ for GTJ, Joey Badass, various folks who stuck down the records and everything else. So, that's been the current really big highlight of what I've been able to do.
Okay, DJ 6 Cents.
Okay, so...
Hold on. We're going to put a spin on your question.
Oh.
This is going to be a two-part question. First question, How long have you been a DJ?
Oh, okay. I started in high school, so that was
About 3 or 4 years?
a very long time ago. So it was in the 90s, and back at that point, it was all vinyl, it was all cassette tapes. It was wow.
Okay, so now you kind of paint a picture of when you started. I want you to tell us a little bit your story. Like, what was the moment that you first, you got your little setup going on, you're learning, you're practicing. How did you become a DJ? What sparked? Did you see something, hear something, and you were like, I want to do that?
Well, I got to shout out DJ Iron and DJ CeeLo. Back in the day, in my day, yeah, you gotta give it up for them. Because they were like the first two DJs on air to play hip hop, period. Like, there were some shows like Conan on AM. For anyone who goes back that far, 1450 used to play music, AM. Then on FM, hip hop broke. On at that point in time, it was 93.9. It still is 93.9, but they were the first playing hip hop on the radio. So I used to listen to them, and that gave me my inspiration to know that, hey, I like this music. I really want to be the one who's playing the music. So that was it. And just to piggyback on the question, most influential moment, literally, I got lucky and I got hired to DJ for BET's Walk of Fame. And they had, I think that year they were honoring Aretha Franklin, and they had a whole bunch of VIP, blah, 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 this and the third at the BET campus. And I didn't know that the event was going to be televised and everything. Like, who knew? I just knew that, I'm going to do this event. They want me there at this time. So in doing that, I got hired to do the next 3 Walk of Fames and the BET College Tour all over the United States to basically bring new music and new artists in a showcase to college campuses across the nation, and that's been for the last 7 years. So that was the beginning and the most influential point.
Thank you. DJ Heat, I'm going to put a different spin on your question. Can you tell everybody a time as a DJ where you had a record that you knew this was a new record? Maybe you were one of the first waves of a DJ to get this record, a fairly new artist, and had this moment where you were like, I have this record, and I know it's going to be huge. And you knew it before anybody else knew it, because I think a lot of times DJs get this like first dibs on a great record.
Yeah, I'm not, well, I guess I can speak on it from a national point and a local point. From the national point, y'all may laugh when I say the record, but it was this group, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. The group was called Love Rants, that joint. I beat the up. So I first heard it when I was in Orlando. And a DJ colleague of mine, it was I remember an organization called the Core DJ, so we had this conference twice a year. And so a colleague of mine from California, he was playing it. I was like, and everybody kept going up to him. That's how you know you have a good song when you're in another, especially with DJs, if you're in another state and you hear somebody play a song and you go up to them like, what is that? Everybody was coming up to him like, what is this song? Like, this joint is crazy. So, he emailed it to all of us, and I use that song as an example because at that point when he played that song when he was in Orlando, I think that was like in the fall. I can't remember the year, but the song didn't break nationally until like literally like a year later. Because like I tell artists, it could take a long time to push the song, but when I heard that, like we all knew, all the DJs there at that conference knew, like, oh wow, like we don't know what this group is, we just all sit in the room, and the homie from Cali is DJing, he's playing this group from Cali, and then like I said, like a year later they get signed, 50 Cent hops on the remix, and bam, it became like a big club record. A local example, I guess, is last year there's an artist from here named Stymie. I used to run a local blog called DC Mumble Sauce, and then artists would submit me their material, And you know, I literally would have to listen to everything that came through the email, because when you run a blog, that's what you have to do. You literally have to listen to everything that comes through your email. But when I listened to his song, I was like, wait a minute. This song stands out because the production, it fit the club mode, the style, the hook, everything. And I had to tell him, like, dude, you need to push this song. So, you know, I met with him and, you know, got him in touch with the other DJs, and he got, you know, a good look at his other website called DJServicePack.com and whatnot, and he really takes everything very seriously. So, you know, that's two examples right there.
Well, that actually segues into the next thing I want to talk about is getting into kind of a two-part. How you, as individual DJs, what elements are you looking for in a record that gets you excited? And I'm talking strictly from a perspective of when you're choosing a record, not necessarily it's been kind of handed down and put into the fold of the mix. But when you're choosing a record, what elements are you looking for that make you want to break a record? And the second part of that question is going to be, what do you have at your disposal to push said record? What do you have to do? What kind of hoops do you have to jump through when you want to play a record with whatever mediums you have available to you? So I'm gonna start with 6 cents on that one.
All right. So what do I look for in a record? The first thing I look for is really production, because it has to grab you in the first 10 to 15 seconds. Because if it doesn't, there are probably 3,000 choices in your iPod, iPhone. There's about more than 3,000 selections you can make somewhere else on internet, radio. You have a million choices of what you want to listen to. So at that point in time, you subconsciously give every song about 15 seconds and you make a decision on it. So the driving force is to please the audience. So if it's on FM radio and I'm DJing for 200,000 people who may be listening, or if it's at a club and I'm DJing for 400 people who are listening, or if it's me just in the car and I'm playing music for myself, the idea is to please the audience. And the first thing that grabs them is the production, the beat, how clean it sounds, what it makes you feel like. So, and the second part of the question was what I use or the different mediums I get music across on. First off, if I pick something I think it's really great, obviously I'm going to play it for myself. Then after that, you take it to probably my boss. So my boss would give a yay or a nay on it. Also, at KYS, we have a music meeting with the DJs every 2 weeks where we discuss what we think is hot, and I bring it up in that conversation. Then, after that, of course, I have my own online show called, it's on DC Now Radio, and it's called The Rush, and I'll play it on my online show, which I promote through my social medias. Then, on top of that, you want to just, if it's something really hot, you want to take it to other affiliates in other places. Luckily, I've been able to form a network of people that I work with Cali, New York, and I just talk to them about what's hot where I am, and they talk to me back about what's hot where they are so we can stay ahead of things. So the media to get things out, social media, internet radio, propose it to my bosses in radio, and then you just go from there.
Alrighty. For myself, production is definitely major, but also the balance between production and lyrics. And I'm not talking about that necessarily be the most complicated thing in the world. You're saying, you know, you can get turned up, you can get dumb serious, I really don't care, but if it's boring, like, I hate listening to a song and the production grabs me and then I'm ready to go to sleep in 30 to 45 seconds because your voice is boring or you don't even sound like you're into it. Like, if you're not into it, why am I going to be into it? There's no point at all in regard to that. And I also want to talk about the balance of production and lyrics. I'm also talking about having your record professionally mixed. Like, you know, somebody can throw I can like everything else on it, but it's going to be thrown way out. But there's a professionally mixed track I'm playing before yours, which might not be that way. You know, like I always had to go to these conferences, and it kind of kills me to have to tell people that you need to do that. But you really, 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 really need to do that, because if that's not happening, you know, I don't want your song to mess up my entire mix, and you know, vice versa. In terms of outlets, I mean, I'm a little spoiled and kind of lucky. When I started out on my show, I ended up being able to syndicate it, so I don't really have the answer to anyone. It's literally just myself and my partner. We constantly go through song submissions, album submissions from people, and you know, you always go off of the, hey, am I feeling this? And you know, maybe the audience might feel this. I might try to test it out, because you know, to a degree, music is going to be subjective regardless, but. Again, I'm a little spoiled. I'm like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm really not trying to play this unless I get a whole bunch of feedback from somebody like, yo, you really need to check this joint out. It may work. And with the exposure, besides us sending out our show to our various outlets, if I like a song or video, people who are on my Twitter and Facebook and all that know I'll immediately blast a video, I'll immediately blast links. I'm tied into various DJ organizations, including Fleet DJs. I'll send them things. I'm tied into a college radio reporting station with RapAttackLives.com and that group, and I'll send them stuff. And yeah, essentially definitely spreading via social media, trying to get back into the mixtape D's, the podcasting, and yeah, just through the FM and internet outlets is how I would push a record out there and push it out there hard.
Okay, so now we talked a little bit about what they're looking for in a record. I want to speak on delivery, because right now, in this day and age, nobody really walks up to a DJ with a vinyl anymore. We all know that, right?
Which makes me sad sometimes, but it's all good.
So,
I'm a little old, so getting vinyl was the bomb back in the day.
So, one of the things that, I get asked a lot from doing record pools, artists ask, what's better? Should I give a CD? Should I give a USB? Should I send an MP3? Should I send a WAV file? Should I email this, or just walk up with your mid-set, at Club's Impact in the middle of, the biggest crowd, your biggest set? Is that when I should tap? Should I pull on your headphone string and say, can you please check this out? So let's talk a little bit, DJ Heat. Talk to everybody about the deliveries, whether somebody should be giving you a 128 or 320 or a CD or an MP3 or a WAV. Talk a little bit about delivery. How should somebody deliver their hit record to you?
Okay.
They're classic.
They're classic. First of all, like it's funny you say that hit record classic. Just save all the jargon, because we've heard it a million times. Yo, Heat, you need to ask with me back. Yo, I got the hottest. You got. Stop. You don't need to oversell yourself, especially with cliche terms like, yo, I got the hottest joint, you need to F with me, all the other stuff I've done heard a million times. Just be yourself. I tell people when presenting your music, treat meeting a DJ or someone like you want a job interview. You should treat it with that same level of respect. When you go on a job interview, you want to sell yourself the real way, as real as possible. You're not a bunch of BS. You mentioned during the mix, please don't approach a DJ while they're DJing. Because, especially with me, I am so focused and concentrated on my mix. I've been doing this for like 22 years. I've been DJing since I was 13 years old. So, like, I'm from an old school where I'm really still focused. I'm sorry, I know we have, other things in the digital world that makes it easier for certain DJs, but my mentality of how I've been DJing the last 20 years is still stuck on focusing on the mix. I'm concentrating on the crowd. Now, if you want to approach me maybe after a set, you can come out and say hi real quick, like, hey, let's rap later, stuff like that. Oh man, DJ Money in the building, man.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God. Oh my God again. It's DJ Money. So definitely don't approach a DJ during the mix. I would say the best place that I feel like where I'm approachable is at events like this. I'm not hard to find. I'm very outgoing. I go out to places. You can come up to me nicely, say, hey, Heat, I have some music I want you to check out. And now, if it's on a CD, I don't mind if it's a CD because I have a CD player in my car. If you have a USB, I don't mind. Like any type, if it's vinyl, hey. I would say for artists, make sure, you missed that part, but having some vinyl coming. Have your music available on all those avenues. I've had artists that made like promotional USBs. There's websites that make them and pass it out. So it makes it easy for the DJs. You can load everything up on your USB. They can take it home with. If you got like a little card with like a link to your website or your SoundCloud, whatever, people I see pass out download cards. And if you have CDs, have the CDs, pressed up and ready to go.
Okay, so let's jump into, I want to talk about email etiquette. And I'm like,
It's that time to talk.
First of all, blind copies. Learn what blind copy is. It is the BCC. When you see CC, that means carbon copy. You are letting everybody see everybody's email. DJs don't like that. Nobody likes it. Media people like that because they just went and took all your email contacts.
Exactly. And other people start emailing us like, who are you?
But you gotta look at those things as though you're making a personal phone call. If I call up DJ Heat and I want to talk to her about something important because I have an important record, I'm not going to surprise her by saying, and I have 94 people on this conference call. How do you feel about my record? She's going to hang up. Okay? So you want to do blind copy. That protects your contact. I just had to throw that out there. That protects your list and also shows respect to the people you're emailing because that shows you're keeping their contacts private. Because sometimes you get lucky and a DJ gives you like a personal email because they really mess with you and they're like, this is my other email that I don't have 400 emails coming to and I really want to hear this record you've just been chopping it up to me about, so send it to this one. And then when you blast that to everybody, they don't like that. So learn what blind copy is. But we're going to get into email etiquette with DJ Money. Welcome, DJ Money. He is a 93.9 WKYS DJ, tour DJ, mixtape DJ. He's that's right. DJ Money, when you get an email, does it improve the chances of this record being played if they have also included their bio, their accomplishments, the grandmother's maiden name,
What hospital they were born in,
their whole backstory, video links, bio links, everything, and their Twitter. Does that help you listen to, what are you looking for when you open an email?
Yes and no. Like sometimes, I think it's also about placement in the email. Because we already know that the song is going to be there, but it all depends on how and where everything is placed. I personally feel like a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm in for the music, so I'm kind of just going straight for the music, me personally. But a lot of times, if I'm into a song, I definitely want to know more of the background on the person. So it's always better to have the information in the email, me personally. But yes, to piggyback off what you said, please don't have my email in the CC. I'm definitely not listening to it. I'm cool.
Okay. DJ Fusion, you talked a little bit about working with a network of DJs. And this is actually, I'm going to start with you, but I'm going to open up to anybody who wants to chime in. I want to know your thoughts about DJ services. So when set artist has this great record, and they feel good about it, and the production is good, and they have everything ready for it, and and they let their family listen to it, and they like the record, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna send this out. I want to get this to DJs to play. What avenue, when you get it through that avenue, you're like, this is probably going to be good?
Okay.
The word of mouth, DigiWax, coalitions, just online links. Where do you get your records from?
First and foremost, besides my just researching myself, because I love music, I'm going to try to find things regardless. Word of mouth definitely helped because a lot of people kind of know my style's a bit all over the place. So, you know, them being like, yo, I really think you should check this out. I'm going to at least definitely give that a listen. I'm glad you mentioned some of these other distribution companies because some of them are really janky and you should not waste your money on some of these random email blasts.
Name names. We're here to learn. Name names.
Oh, yeah.
The name is wrong.
That's what's straight to spam.
Sorry. That's the spam joint right there.
Are we unanimous with this, DJ?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been unsubscribed for years ago.
So you heard it right from the source.
And I unfollowed him on Twitter.
I like
Yes, she unfollowed her.
That's when you know it's real.
Yeah, it was bad.
Shit just got real.
I like DJ Service Pack. I like DigiWax, especially because DigiWax requires you to give that feedback. So, you know, you can send out your music all day, but you want to know if a DJ's feeling good or not feeling good. And with sites like DigiWax and 1200 Squad, you know, before you can even download the track as a DJ, you had to sit down and listen to it and kick that back. Especially for my folks who are a little bit more on the independent end, Cosign, code-sign.com. They do a whole bunch of other different types of music, and they also are very heavy in terms of giving folks feedback. Giant Step is really good from the perspective of having a diverse types of music and also one to professionally push you and make sure that everybody's getting things back on that way. I'm very big on the independent media route because I am independent media, but in all seriousness, in the United States right now, we're pretty much going to be your foundation for getting your music out there. So all these folks who do things to college radio and internet radio and have a strong foundation, definitely reach out to them because everybody's going to need to have that build, that hype to get to that next level with the mainstream outlets and things like that. And whether it's yourself or you go through one of these companies, please don't act like you've been raised in a damn barn when you're reaching out to people. I don't have to do anything. All I got to do is get up, take care of my family, and go to sleep. You know, introduce yourself like you would introduce yourself on a regular basis. Hey, my name is so-and-so and so. I have a track. I'd really appreciate if you get a chance to listen to it and give me some feedback. And this is not just email, this is also via social media. I can name a time that DJ E and I were actually trying to find out if a star passed away and somebody sent a link to their song. And I'm like, dog, you know what? I will never deal with you because you've been raised in a damn barn. And people are trying to talk about something serious. Like, if we were here right now, you talk about something serious, somebody's like, yo, new hit, tossed out. Nah, what the hell's the matter with you? It's the same, you know, via all of these other types of social media outlets. Like, I'm very big on manners. I might not even care for your track, but I'll be there like, that cat has some sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sidebar, DJs, real quick. How effective is sending you a Twitter link?
Wait.
How effective is that?
It's not.
It's not effective.
Real quick, one other thing. What you have to also make sure as artists is, you know, you may have an account with like a Reverb or a site that allows people to follow you to follow people, even on Facebook or anything like that. If you form a group, please do not add DJs, do not add people to your group who didn't ask to be added. That is the worst ever. I hate getting emails and being put on mailing lists from people who I don't know. I don't know you. National Association of Barbers. What does that? I mean, I'm not part of that, obviously. But in the long run of things, that is as impolite as touching somebody you don't know. You're digitally touching somebody without their permission.
Also on that note, my Facebook wall is not your promo wall. I repeat, my Facebook wall is not your promo wall. If we know each other that well, then yes, that's all good. But if I just literally add you on because I liked your tune or whatever, and I see that not just me, but about 200 people have been added onto your event or your video or whatever, you're getting blocked, you're getting removed. I'm not being bothered. That's just rude.
And I think it's important to note that, you know, I want to hear these DJs' thoughts on these little, you know, this etiquette. This is basic etiquette because I feel like a lot of times there's artists who have a great record, but they're doing it wrong. Yeah, they're not getting out. You're going about it the wrong way. So when you get frustrated because you hear your favorite DJ playing a record that you feel doesn't match up to what your record is, there's probably a good chance that they got it to that record, they got it to that DJ in a more effective way. That's half the battle. Getting it to them, to get them to listen to it, that is half your battle getting it played. So these things that they're saying, make sure you really pay attention to this kind of stuff, because it could, I mean, you know, like DJ Buddy said, you know, he's not going to sit there. If you make them struggle to hear the song, they're not going to hear it. They want it presented, they want it easy, they want it clean, they want it no drama, no issues, so they can just click and listen to it. Make it easy for them to listen to it.
And actually, too, also, I want to say that one of the things that a lot of folks don't get is that when the handoff is so serious. Like, the handoff, the first initial, how you come up to us is the biggest thing. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, you can't, a lot of folks take that for granted. Like, if you're the hottest in the streets, I would have heard your name by now. Like, that, like, period. Like, that's how it is. Like, the best,
you a drink.
You know what I'm saying? Like the best, and most of the time, the best songs and the new songs that we get, it's not from the artist. Like, it'll be just random. I'll be somebody out somewhere and be like, yo, this, what's that? Like, oh, yo, you heard da-da-da? Like, it's never from, most of the time, half the time. I give a prime example right now. Me and my boy Aladdin is here, right? Me and him was talking, and I you know how YouTube has like a random playlist?
Yeah.
Randomly, about a month and a half ago, the Coco record came on there. And I heard that and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then we all know what's going on with that record right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't service, there wasn't nothing extra, it just organically started to bubble. Like, if your record's hot, the music, it always goes back to the music, man, at the end of the day. Always goes back to the music.
Yeah. And the real thing about that is, it's better to have either your audience talking for you, or your management talking for you, or someone besides you talking for you. You're an artist, you have one role, but you have to master 5 different roles. Or you have to delegate those responsibilities to people who you trust. Because you could be the artist, the producer, the PR person, the management, and the street team, if you want, but you can't do that effectively as just you. So if you delegate those responsibilities to someone who knows and who has experience in the business, then a lot of times you won't have to go over the hurdles of approaching someone badly or overstepping some etiquette, because hopefully the people you work with will know better. Because all we want as DJs is to shine, and we want you to shine if you're good. We're gonna take your music and put it out there to our audience, and our audience is gonna enjoy it. But if you bring your audience to us, besides you saying it's hot, if you have 15, 20 emails of someone else saying it's hot, or at least have a core of people who support you without us being involved, then we know that you're on your way to being serious.
Actually, I kind of want to touch on what Six was just saying about building your team. Please, when you build your team, research your team to make sure that they can perform the duty. Because if y'all follow me on Twitter, if I get like a crappy email, I will put it on blast and tweet about it. Like, why is this person's manager talking in Ebonics? I don't understand what you're trying to say to me.
Yo, what's up,
in this email, you know, right? You got publicists that can't form a correct sentence or a paragraph. Like, please research your team. Just because, you know, your man, you know, that's your man and he say he could do it. Nah, like that's one of the things that I think why this area, or artists in general, independent artists, fail so much, because they fail to research and learn. If you want to hire somebody to do the job, shouldn't you know that they have these credentials and just going to like pass it to them and tell them like, yeah, you're gonna be my manager, you're gonna send out these emails, but I'm trying to decipher what your manager is trying to say to me in the email. Like what? I delete.
There's a level to professionalism to everything, and that's what folks fail to realize. Like, yes, we're cool, we're approachable, but at the same time, this is the music business, and in the business, you have to conduct business, and that's the biggest thing I tell folks all the time. Like, no matter what's going on, like, this is still the business. Like, you're not gonna go up to Lior or Clue or Self or somebody like that crazy, so why approach me or Heat or Six or anybody crazy? You know what I'm saying?
It's not about feelings, this is business.
And on a quick side note to the presentation, in 2014, there's no excuse to not have your MP3s labeled
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you don't even have the most
Oh my God.
you don't even have the most fancy email blast or all this other type of stuff. Sometimes you just have your, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my God.
Like you just have your basic paragraph, say, here's who I am, here's how to contact me, and label it MP3 because I don't want to go through all that reading and then I'm like, so this just has random gobbledygook scribble on it, and I'm supposed to sit back, label this, and try to get it tracked or Serato ready. I mean, it might sound petty, but when I know everybody here on this panel gets a ton of submissions all the time, and sometimes you just there like, yo, you know what? If you don't even care enough to say this is my name dash this is my track .mp3, why am I gonna bother with you?
It's really easy.
Real quick, show of hands if you are even unsure in any way, shape, or form what she means when she talks about labeling your MP3. Put your hands up if you are not sure.
It's cool. No, it's cool. Don't. Let's just tell them. It's really easy.
Do you add your BMI like work number?
No.
What? If I ever spin it on the radio, how do I get a paycheck?
Here's what you do.
That's what I'm asking.
Got you. Hold on. That's
a good question.
I got you. Real quick. So you don't have to put any coding in when it's first off. There's an ID3 tag. So what that does, it's a simple way a lot of people access it is by going to iTunes, putting the song in your iTunes, hitting, I think it's Command and J, get information. Once that comes up, you'll be able to enter in the artist's position your name, your information, your website. You'll be able to put your artwork on the MP3 in there, and you save that, and that's the one you send out. And when it comes to your question about getting credit for your spins and your this, that, the third, one, I shouldn't even be telling you this, but you have to register with you have to register your music with those organizations so they track it that way, not putting it on the MP3. So there's 5 or 6 different organizations you have to register each song with before you even put it out if you want to get paid from play on the radio, play in stores, play.
And we actually,
radio.
I don't want to cut you off, sir, but I do want to utilize our time for our panel. There is a follow-up panel right after this called Monetize Your Movement that talks about making money with your music.
How to.
And how to do that. So it'll go over there. And also, real quick too, if you don't have iTunes, you can also, if you have the song saved on your desktop, you can right-click properties, name it, make sure it has the name, and because a lot of times when you get it from your producer, your studio, it'll just say, track 1, or sometimes if the beat you were using had a name, it'll still be under the name of the beat. So you want to make sure the title is your name and your song. So when they do take it from email and upload it into their Serato, it's not unknown artist, track 2.
Yeah.
You want to make sure it has your name so then they can search for it. But
I hear real quick, and the answer,
Sure.
if regular spins is something that he's looking to monitor, then your song needs to be registered with BDS first of all. If you don't know what BDS is, then I tell artists there's no point of playing your song on the radio if your song hasn't been registered with BDS, because that's how radio spins is monitored. Like when I was working with artists, I didn't send out a song to DJs until I registered with BDS.
And it doesn't take long.
Right.
It doesn't take long. You can do it the same day. It doesn't take long at all.
I had an artist that was trying to get signed, and his man didn't register his song on BDS, and the label was like, "We thought y'all playing this song in DC." He like, "We are." Like, I literally just played the song, and it turns out that his manager didn't register the song on BDS.
God bless him.
So
Also,
one of the
Sound Exchange is your friend. Real quick interjection.
Sure.
We are in the internet radio era.
Yeah.
We are deep into it, and I repeat this again, without the independent media foundation, like net radio and stuff, a lot of y'all are not going to get heard or get that foundation to get to that next step. SoundExchange.com, it's super easy to register tracks on there, and when you can show people that all these streams and all these places are playing your joint, and with a lot of these other stations who are also streaming on the internet, it's definitely a big help, so definitely look at that.
I'm going to actually use that as a segue. One of the last topics I want to spend a few minutes on before we get some questions in. One thing that I hear a lot is that bloggers are the new DJs. Bloggers are where artists are getting their music from. They are going on to XXL.com. They're going to Two Dope Boys. They're going to DJ Booth. This is where they're going to get their music. So I want to hear each of you kind of, number one, respond to that and talk about how you have evolved as a DJ. Because as we mentioned earlier, we are kind of beyond the era of having a vinyl handed to you and it's in your crate and you're playing it and you might be the only DJ who has that new record. Now you're getting records from everywhere, it's coming in. You as a DJ are not the only channel for fans to get music from. So how do you stay relevant in this changing era as a DJ? How do you stay the primary focus where fans get their music from? And how do you feel about that blogger statement?
First off, I just want to say blogs are the new streets. Like, so it's one thing to, you know, back in the day, like we used to maybe hear a song on the radio or something, you know, like old school wise, just like tape it or record it till it came out. Like now it's like when you hear something, you go straight to SoundCloud or the blogs and just to find it. But, you know, personally, I just feel like that when it comes to the DJ aspect of it, it's about how you DJ and about the like me personally, when it comes to putting together my set, like I try to put it together almost like a show, like me personally. So it's a different kind of feel when I might play a certain record than someone else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I feel and that's how I stay relevant personally. But I definitely agree with the fact that blogs are the new streets though, but they're not the new DJs.
Definitely not. I mean, the thing about it also is you realize in this day and time, I'm sure that 99% of you out there are bloggers just for the fact that you're being on social media. You put up what you think, you repost certain things under your name digitally, and that's considered a blog. So, in the long run of things, yes, blogs do break certain songs, and they can add a concrete place for you to find music that's everyone can access. But in the real light of things, like Money said, you can get bits and pieces digitally, but to put it together and to deliver it, that's a DJ.
I don't believe blogs are the new DJs. I believe they're more of the new A&Rs. They're folks who help curate more music out to the people that, especially with a lot of the major label distributors and whatnot, throughout the past decade and a half, getting steadily smaller and smaller and smaller. You have these independent folks out there, and now some majors, because I remember when people were clowning blog, that they were clowning net radio and podcasts and stuff, but now, for everybody, it's the wave. That being said, I think honestly, blogs, for me, kind of help. You know, I mean, I get a lot of stuff all the time, but there's various blogs and things I respect, and I like peek at them and see, you know, what's going on, and what's good, because, you know, I'm just one individual. I can't get my hands on everything all the time or check out everything all the time. Sometimes it's cool to go to a source and be like, oh, well, I haven't necessarily heard of this cat, but I've heard of this other dude through this site before. Let me go ahead and check that out. The blogs are just another part of the great expansion of technology, I think, that has been happening with music. You're able to get access to more things than you were able to ever before. You're able to reach out to more people than ever before. And to me, it's just another tool for the DJ, as long as we have the net access that we have in this world. And on the side, a political note, check out net neutrality, because if that gets messed up, we ain't gonna get no kind of music distribution the way that we've had before, where we have the real streets and the net streets to, you know, get everybody's careers out there.
I would say at the end of the day, you're still going to need the DJ. The bloggers can't spin your track in the club. You know, the bloggers can't spin your track on the radio. You know, with the bloggers, is like you said, it could be a stepping stone. Like they get you hip to, you know, somebody new, like, oh, okay, this is the new underground artist. And, you know, some of the stuff on blogs, I'm not going to play in the club and on the radio anyway. So, but it gets you noticed. You need that. It goes hand in hand, but you're still going to need the DJ to get your music out to the masses.
As a DJ, are any of you looking for records on blogs?
Nah, I'm not. Personally, I would say I'm not.
I actually do sometimes. I mean, I like certain blogs, but that's just, you know, I definitely try to search for a lot of different music though, but that's just me. Like, that's my Monday. Every Monday, like, I'm always looking for something. So, like, that's why I tell folks all the time, like, you see me, like, on the weekend, Monday is probably the best time to send me music.
Yeah, me personally, I just go to the different, you mentioned DJ services earlier. If I'm looking for music to actually spin I'm going to the different DJ sites I use, like DJ Service Pack, DigiWags, Break the Praise. It's so many DJ services I use. But when I'm on a blog, I'm I'm thinking, I got two different mind states. I got the club, radio side of my brain, and I just got the hip-hop purist side of my brain. So I'm on the blog looking for some good hip-hop and stuff like that.
We're going to go ahead and get into, the last 10 minutes we have, we're going to get into some Q&A. Feel free to ask anything we have covered, or ask, if there's something you want expanded on. And for my panelists, if somebody asks you a question, you can direct it towards a specific DJ too if you like. If you want to answer something and you feel like you need to expand on that further, then I would also encourage and invite you to maybe, let that questionnaire talk to you after the panel. So, here we go. We're going to start over here. You got your hand up. Let's start with you.
I'm Rich. I'm 101. I would like to know, can y'all explain more about what BDS does?
BDS is an encoding service. So, everything is digital, right? So it monitors and tracks your spins. Like, if you want your song played on the radio, and especially if you try and get a label to get you noticed, like all the major labels have access to it as well. And that's how you determine like the charts, where you might see like Billboard and have like radio charts, or even with media basis, another service you can use with charts. If I could play your song 500 times in a row in full. If you did not get your song encoded, it does not come up to anybody. You can tell this person. You can tell this label. You could go to Jay-Z right now, like, yo, they played my song 500 times in a row. He could pull it up and see nothing. I watched that happen at a core DJ event. This dude was trying to say such and such played my song, so they pulled it up on the screen. I'm like,
nope. Yep, they search your name, and if nothing is registered under your name, your song isn't registered. It's an industry tool that's used, and when you sit down with that label to say that I give love in DC, I'm the man, I just the third, everything you're supposed to say as an artist, and they say, well, you play it on the radio? Yep, 500 times. It's part of the things you need to do before you put your record out to make sure that you get credit. You get your financial credit, you get your industry credit, and you get your just credit in general for the exposure you got.
Once again, too, it's not something that's a long process, and also now it's digital. So like, it's not even something where you used to have to mail it in. It would take a second, but now it's digital. It can happen the same day, so there's no excuse for it not to happen at all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Green Music. Just had a quick question. As far as sampling is concerned, as a DJ, do you guys play sample records?
Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah.
It doesn't affect us.
That don't do nothing to me. It's no publisher.
They're not going to sue us.
No publisher.
They will sue you. They will sue us.
if I hate you, I might play it a lot, so they go.
Wow.
Nobody want to touch out explicit?
Explicit songs.
Wow.
If the radio station says we play clean records, submit a damn clean track.
Okay.
Most of your music is not that dope for me to sit down and edit it.
So there are 7 words that the FCC doesn't allow, but really in radio, there's another 2 or 3 that you're not allowed to say. You can't say the N-word, obviously. That's one of the 3 that radio doesn't allow. N-word, the B-word, and ASS. So with those 3 plus, those other 7 for FCC, you wanted to say those money?
The George Carlin 7 words.
It's F-bomb, C-O-C-K, you can't say M-effer, you can't say S-H-I-T, you can't say...
The male anatomy that begins with the letter D.
Oh, well,
and of course, drug references for all my track stars.
Right, it's more than words now.
That's the other thing. Certain concepts, like head, you're not even really going to allow to say head in that context. So,
yeah.
Yeah, honestly, but we have to define it because we'll get certain records that'll say clean, but it'll have ass all the way through it, or it'll have, oh, she was giving me brain all night.
There you go.
It's like,
You know, it's an example of a
Get those clean and super clean words.
that Banjo Jones section.
doesn't matter who.
We had to play like Love You. It was this song that have you had any good sex?
Oh, baby.
I felt uncomfortable that we was playing this song. I was like, but there's a cleaner version that's called Love You instead of Sex You. Like, I'm sure y'all hit on it and go, sex. Have you had good sex? I'm like, I'm uncomfortable with us playing this song. But there's a cleaner version. So it ain't just more words, it's what you're implying in your content as well sometimes.
Let's get this side of
A creative radio edit is awesome too.
Yeah.
I always like bringing up folks like Wu-Tang. I think they did the best clean radio edits on the planet, where you're doing the sound effects.
Oh yeah, and
Right, and the curses and
Premiere.
whatnot. Like an awesome radio can have a whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jam right.
two more.
Yeah, this question is for Heat. I know you did a blog post one time about how not to approach you on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody had like their horror stories and stuff, but can any of y'all give like a good example of like how somebody approached you, like the most ideal way somebody could deliver their music to you, and you'd be like, that was dope, thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. Go ahead.
On Twitter, I guess I could put it out. I wrote a whole article about it. The article is called "For Twitter Rappers Who Have Considered Suicide When Their Struggle Rap Was Done."
Struggle rap.
So the website you can go to and read the article is dumbRappersNeedTeaching.com. Like I started a site called dumbRappersNeedTeaching.com so I can get out more advice to artists in general. And you can read it there about tweeting, about not in a short, like don't tweet people with your links. And interact with people. This is social network. Like I looked at my block list the other day on this website about how many people I had blocked. Lord have mercy. I think I had like 1,400 people blocked. And they're like, most of them are artists, because if you tweet me a link, I'm just blocked. Say hi. Like tweeting come up in somebody's conversation and tweeting a link is like doing this. I'm talking. I'm sorry, but that's nice. This is a shout out to the Santa Claus. I'm talking and you just jump in and just
Yeah, like one more of those the barbershop.
You didn't say hi, you didn't say who you are, you just hit. I don't block. I don't know you and stuff like that. Get to know the DJ. Yep. Please know the DJ that you talk to. And I mentioned that on the article again. dumbRappersNeedTeaching.com is posted on the top. Know who it is you're trying to get in touch with. Y'all just see a DJ name. And y'all just like, oh, this, that. Like I get people that hit me up and say, hey, bro, hey, sir. Like I know they little, but it says female DJ in my Twitter bio. In case you're confused.
So and also no one understand that professional record companies, they go through leaps and bounds to present the music. They form a relationship, and sometimes it's good to have that, but in the long run of things, you need to treat yourself like you're the record company. Okay, you may want to try to organize something where you can get all the DJs to come out. And okay, you can ask them, but in the long run, you might want to do a dinner for them, or you may want to give something to them that they can use. Maybe a USB that has all your information on, or maybe, hey, I'm part of Team Next MC, and what we do is we sit you down as an artist and talk to you, go through your music, and we actually give you creative feedback on everything. But as it being a business, the same way you pay to go to a studio is the same way you come sit down and pay to see us. Because in the real world, you're gonna get what you pay for. You come up to us, you're asking us for something, our time, our energy, and you're not giving us anything but something which is a project that benefits you.
At least buy him a drink.
How does it benefit us? Well, I don't want no drinks, I'm good.
Well, water.
I don't drink that.
Like, when it comes down to it, you pay to get your song recorded, you make sure the person that records your song does not master it. Please, because the person, they had ears, and those same ears, hearing the same record for so long, they're going to go deaf to it, and it's not going to have the same effect as someone different mastering it. But in the long run of things, make sure that you're bringing the person you want something from something for them, because in the long run, the DJ doesn't have to play.
We got one last question. You've been patiently waiting. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Stephen Redhead.
Hi, Steve.
In the entertainment industry, it's not getting that much money, so there's a thing called product placement. I understand that DJs don't do payola these days, but there are particular services that like to send records over to radio stations to be put in the system. I also understand that the Iggy Azalea record was put into a record pool and played like 1,000 times pretty much a week. So I wanted to say, when these type of things happen, does that really influence your decision to play a record on the radio when it's being serviced and paid for?
First off, Iggy was never going to fail. I just want to put that out there. First. Secondly, it's like, I mean, if a record good, once again, like I always say, I always go back to the point of the music. Like folks get away from that. Like, yes, you have to definitely come up with stuff and definitely come up with different ways to market stuff and to grow your brand, excuse me, as an artist. But you gotta remember, like, if the music's not good, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. Nothing else matters. That's the biggest thing I can tell folks. Like, very true. Like, you can have the most press, the baddest chick, everything. Everything can be in line. The most promo, and you play us your song, and we can all be like, well, nice meeting.
Music is the foundation. It is the face of you as an artist, period.
And, you know, when we bring up the Iggy Azalea situation, I could go on an entire rant about how I feel that's crazy by a Clear Channel, but we'll save time. Essentially, when you had to get down to it, yes, these majors push certain stuff out or whatever, but like DJ Money said, if it's whack, it's going to fly off the charts and beat other beats. That's why you got to build that base, you got to build that foundation. It's awesome to get played on PGC and KYS, but there's at least a good 20 plus college radio stations in the DMV. I think even more. Why not reach out to them and get that burn and get that shine? Get yourself placed on the CMJ, the College Music Journal charts. You know, get into those university shows and whatnot, because every college gets student fees, and when they have student fees, that means that's a chance for you to get paid if you get booked.
Case in point.
And it is every single state and all over.
Okay.
So, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. That's cool. I was back to rant.
Okay, I just want to conclude and say, on behalf of the conference, thank you to all 4 of our DJ panelists that came out to speak. I know them all personally and have worked with all of them, and the information they're giving y'all is stuff that not only do they put out on their timelines, on their websites, or even when you walk up to them in person. All 4 of these DJs are very, very extremely approachable and knowledgeable. So please take the time to build with them, network with them. That's what we're all here for today. So thank you for sitting in on our panel today.
Real quick, one other thing. Can we all give our social media so we can make sure we connect with all of y'all? I'm DJ Sixsense, so it's at DJ SIXTHSENSE, and also Team Next MC. So make sure you follow those 2 for me, at DJ Sixsense and Team Next MC.
All of my social networks is FuseBox Radio, FUSEBOX RADIO, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that. And people know I'm really interactive. I'm one of those people who wakes up and I have to look at my phone because I got notifications. So feel free to reach out and talk, but as I said before, be respectful not to everybody that you deal with.
Everything for me is DJ Heat DC, DJHeatDC.com, DJ Heat DC on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and the site that I was talking about that I have put some articles up there is DumbRappersNeedTeaching.com.
It's probably my favorite site.
That is like the greatest site title.
Yep.
I love that.
My Twitter is DJ Money DMV, Instagram DJ Money, website DJNoParty.com. Yeah, so hit me up, man. If you got some hot stuff, man, please, man, put it on the site, send it to me, man.
What's the site again?
NoDJNoParty.com.
Yep, as in, if you have no DJ, you have no party.
Like that.
Thanks again, guys. That concludes our time. Everybody, before you head out, we're going to start our Monetize Your Movement panel right across that's right? And we have the Deal or No Deal panel right here in this room. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Monetize Your Movement is going to start here in about 5 minutes. Let's start right across the hall. Thank you.
You can listen to the FuseBox Radio Broadcast via iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Podcast Addict, and your other favorite podcast players. Check out the FuseBox Radio's official website for our latest episodes, events, and more at FuseBoxRadioOnline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/FuseBox Radio Show, Twitter at Twitter.com/FuseBox Radio, and Instagram at Instagram.com/FuseBox Radio. Feel free to contact us at FuseBoxRadio@gmail.com to submit music for airplay consideration,